Welcome to our episode of Barman Saturdays, and this week I also decided to take a look at Scooby-Doo, Stage Fright. And I have to admit, I have mixed feelings about this one because of a few different reasons. For starters, the film, places a lot of emphasis on, Daphne and Fred's relationship. If they really like each other. But it's kind of meaningless because even if they establish that in this movie, it doesn't follow through in the movies that are going to be coming after this one. Like, it's basically there for a movie, then just disappears. It's just like it's a meaningless plot thread. Like, having them move towards a romantic relationship just doesn't have any impact if you realize, it's not going to matter after the film's over. Ugh. I guess that's a bit mean-spirited, it's just like you're talking about this film and applying, the fact it has no impact on other movies against it. And yeah, I am, because it's just like, if you're going to go all the way to establish they're willing to write silly little love songs to each other, and then this just completely disappears afterwards, then what's the point? I mean, I realize these films are meant to be taken probably more on their own. That way they just can recycle the characters endlessly without ever having to really develop them as characters. But that also makes watching them over time, kind of tedious. It's just like I never get anything new out of these characters. Like, even if it would make harder for people to jump into these movies in the middle, like, you could keep the plots relatively separate while growing the characters, and they can put the pieces together on how they've been changing, over the course of the various movies. So, I mean, something like that. I assume the hardcore fans at least would, get it and approve of that, because they probably would own basically all of these. I mean, I only picked up a bunch because I found them at the Dollar Tree for like $1. I'm just like, oh, Scooby-Doo movies? Yoink! Like I just took a whole bunch of them. But yeah, I don't like the fact that we established this lovey-dovey relationship that's gonna ultimately go nowhere. On the other hand, I do like the fact that they have so many different people in the mask this time around, because it basically makes you have to wonder, who's currently on screen and why. Like, who is the actual Phantom, during this moment or that moment, and what are they hoping to achieve over the course of the film? It really, forces you to, have to wonder about who's guilty of what. Sort of like you're reading a Cardassian novel from Star Trek, like, everyone's guilty of something. It's your job to figure out who's done it and why. So, yeah, I do like that aspect of the movie. Plus, it keeps you, on your toes a bit about at least some of them. Because you're probably not going to see, at least one of them coming. As for the other elements of the plot, like, the Daphne and Fred throwing the talent competition so Emma can win so her parents can save the family farm, which has their ancestors buried on it. It's a nice thing they did, I suppose. Sort of reminds me of Lightning McQueen, going back to push the king across the finish line, at the end of the first film. But it feels like something, you didn't have to do, because they could have just given them the money and just accepted winning the competition. But like, we're gonna give it to Emma because we're interested, we want to help them out because we heard about, their family farm issues. Just like, because they openly admit, when they get asked what they do with the money, they're like, we have no freaking idea. Like, maybe we'll buy a hat or some seat covers. Just like, okay, no plan whatsoever. Suppose you shouldn't let the money get in the way of, what you're doing, though, right? But, but yeah, like, I like certain aspects of the plot, like I said, but the whole does he like me angle, like me, gets really old and tedious. Till next time, then. See ya.
You make a cute couple.
We're not a cute couple. I mean, we're not a couple, so we can't be a cute one. Although we would be if we were, which we're not. I mean, it's not that we don't like each other. It's just we don't like each other. It's just not likely. Right, Fred? Or do we? We don't, right? Do we? Why are we talking about this so much? Can we just change the subject now, please? This is none of your business.